What's up, guys? It's your boy, the Piscean Predator. I'm back with that TPP True Crime Talk. Man, before we jump into this, can you guys do me a huge favor? Smash that like and that subscribe for your boy. Help me out. I appreciate you. Much love. All right, let's get into this topic. It might be, a risky topic to be covering because a lot of people have a lot of opinions and emotions tied to it. And I may or may not lose some subscribers over it because I'm going to go ahead and speak on it as far as my opinions, my thoughts, and whatnot, feelings. But the topic is for this video is the shooting that just took place in Nashville, Tennessee, at the Covenant Church school and church school, religious school, Christian school, however you want to label it. You hear mass shooting at a school, you automatically think, some young kid, some probably young white kid, probably some young white male kid, right, that did it. And, he's probably like upset about, being an incel or, you don't get down with the government or, just the usual, you know what I mean? Or maybe a teacher made him mad or sad or whatever. But this was not the case. This time it's not the case. This time it was a 26 or 27-year-old transgender or aspiring transgender woman, biological woman. And this person that pulled this transgression against these innocent people, absolutely sickening. Absolutely sickening. We live in a country where your freedoms are unmatched compared to other places, right? Like, if you live in other countries, there's certain countries where your sexual orientation or gender identity can get you thrown off a damn roof or stoned to death. But not in this country, right? Not in this country. And this person that did this is left a manifesto. All right, so this ain't even just conjecture or speculation. Like, this person literally had it mapped out on what places she was going to go to pull this off, right? A mall and then a school. And she went for the softer target where she knew there would not be armed security, armed teachers, and just a bunch of just sitting ducks. She knew what she was doing, and then I've talked about, mental illness being connected to a lot of these type of situations, these people like that. And, I'll get some people wanting to go back and forth with me on studies show that, not a lot of these people have mental issues. Well, check it out. Undocumented mental issues, you cannot evaluate once, somebody's dead. And pretty much around 50% of people that pull these type of things end up dead by themselves or by law enforcement. So, you know what I mean? And then afterwards, you telling me that a lot of the school shooters we've seen or mass shooters we've seen aren't completely medicated when we see them on trial? And you want to tell me that it's not mental health? Okay. Yeah. Nah. It is, dude. I know it's more complicated than just mental health. It's a cultural thing. It's a societal thing. It's all honesty, like, our culture and our societies and this decay in the Western world. It's horrible. But anyways, so that being said, this person literally wanted to kill people for trans rights. Okay, so if we just break it down factually, what rights don't they have? They have all the same rights we do, right? But what it is they want these rights they want extra rights. They want to be identified of what they're changed to on a level that isn't biologically sound, right? So it's like, you want to use a restroom that you probably shouldn't be allowed to use, considering you were a male most of your life and now you want to go into a female's restroom where little girls are. No. Now we got to find a middle ground. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a libertarian. you know. I got, you know, fiscally conservative, but like there's a middle ground, right? There's a middle ground. And, you know, we got to find that middle ground. And that middle ground isn't you going into, you know, a bathroom that you weren't biologically born to go into, or to compete in sports that you weren't biologically meant to be competing in. And when we can get in that argument, it's a whole nother deep dive and a, you know, complicated, nuanced situation. You know what I mean? But that being said, this person showed signs of mental illness. This person was seen as psychologist. This person posted pictures of herself with trans rights or else with guns on it, bro. In the flag colors. Like, what the hell? What the hell? And the first thing that, you know, the major media and then politicians want to do is they want to go after the guns. Nah, man. Think about it like this. For the people that truly think that it's a gun problem, like, let's think about it like this. Why was this nation that was filled with guns completely fine up until around 1966? I don't know. That would take you looking into the history and looking at the social changes and the cultural changes that have happened to our country and what's caused those changes, right? And that gets really complex and deep, super deep. And most people, they don't have the I don't know, either the intelligence or the patience to actually dive into that type of stuff and learn it and take it in and rationalize it. So, you know, they rely basically on talking points spouted out either from the left or the right, right? Now, I'm a, you know, like I said, I'm a libertarian. So a lot of my views and opinions are shared by those on the right. So when I speak on how I feel, I automatically get lumped into that and, you know, claiming like I have talking points and that I'm going off of this. Well, that's not true, because if you sit down and have a conversation with me, I could break down things to the point where you would like, oh man, I did not see that, and I can guarantee that I can break that down like that for you. You know, like this is not a gun problem. This is a cultural, societal decay problem. It truly is. You know what I mean? And my opinion and a lot of people's opinions is it started back when, you know, faith and religion was starting to be pushed to the side, and then government, government agendas, you know, under the guise of, you know, programs to help, you know, people in struggling situations such as, you know, welfare, child support, feminism. Yeah, I know you think I'm crazy. You think I'm crazy, but trust me, there's people that can break this down just like me, break it down for you, make it palatable and understandable on how these certain things have affected our culture and our society and have destroyed families. And then in doing so, there's a direct correlation between the high amounts of depression, anxiety, and mental health problems in this nation. Thus, there's a large correlation with that in the amount of mass shootings and crimes and just everything that we're seeing that's wrong with this country now. You know, this shooting really, it has so much complexity to it. Like, there's so much complexity to this shooting and all these other shootings, right? Because yeah, now we're seeing that, you know, we're starting to see a little uptick in people that are transgender or, you know, have this pronoun thing going on and doing some crazy things. But it's been that case since the jump, since these shootings started, since this mass shooting phenomenon started, basically really back in '66. Um, and it's people that feel disenfranchised and feel like they're out of place and they don't belong in the society, and they don't like where they see the society going, and there's so many reasons, you know what I mean, why it's headed that way. And man, it's so complicated. But the reality is taking guns away isn't gonna fix it, right? You can look at the countries, you know, like European countries, you know, that have taken the guns away, and all the people that end up wanting to kill a bunch of people do is either find knives or cars or another means to kill people. So you're never gonna stop that, but you can slow it down. The thing is you can't slow it down if you're not willing to have the conversations about what the real problems are. And there's some people are going to disagree with this. And that's cool. Well, we live in America. We can agree to disagree. But to not see the correlations between our cultural decay and the things that are happening in our society that are just wrong, that are immoral, to not be able to look at that and then correlate that with these mass shootings, these crimes, and then me being in true crime, like, we've watched through the true crime, genre, just the crazy amounts of heinous things happening within the true crime. You know what I mean? From like murders to serial killings to, familicide, patricide, infanticide, all that stuff. There's a huge uptick in it. And it's like, why? Why? And especially, why is it so concentrated in the West, in the United States? It's because of our cultural decay. And like I said, that gets very nuanced, and there's so many little things that have happened in our society here that have caused that to happen. This shooting has just sparked up the whole conversation, and it is kind of funny that immediately some of the politicians on the left wanted to immediately like start talking about the guns and this and that, and we got to stop this from happening, and then all of a sudden it was crickets once they found out that it was a transgender person that did this, and they literally have a manifesto and a plan, and they were getting psychological help, and like their family knew something was up. A friend was getting texts before it even happened saying that, this person texted her friend and said, like basically she was done and this and that, and that her friend would hear about it on the news. Like, dude, how did they not call police and be like, hey, my best friend is about to do something crazy. I don't know what she's about to do, but she's talking about like she's gonna die and I'm gonna hear it on the news. That's kind of saying I'm about to go pull some crazy stuff. I'm not just gonna go kill myself. I'm gonna go kill some other people. Is pretty much what that's saying. Like, you don't just make it on the news for suicide. You know what I mean? Unless you're taking out other people in the process. And in this process, she killed 3 little kids, 3 adults, and basically was suicide by a cop, right? Like, man, absolutely bananas. It's so crazy. It is so crazy. I don't know, guys. This one right here is this one's a bad one. This one is a bad one. I mean, they're all bad, right? All these mass shootings, all the school shootings are bad, but the fact that we're at this point, that we've made it this far and it's going on and people still can't see the reality of it. Guns don't walk in and do this on their own. You know what I mean? Knives don't go in and kill people on their own. People that get behind a wheel and will go to plow down, groups of people. The car didn't do it on their own. It's the evil in the person that's done it. And that evil comes from somewhere. Some people are just absolutely born that way. But then some other people are, pushed to that by society and their inability to, live within that society they're in. But either way you cut it, dude, it's a mental illness thing. And maybe it's not, evaluated in some situations and actually, a doctor saying that that is what it is. But dude, come on, dude, for real? Like, let's say you don't have a diagnosed mental illness, but yet you're so angry and pissed off that you're willing to put a plan together to go kill people. Like, that's not a mental illness? Like, there's not mental instability there? You're kidding me. You're absolutely kidding me, man. And you're kidding yourself. And I get it, some of you guys are scared of guns, so you'd rather just not see any guns around. But here's the sad part is, you take all the guns from the law-abiding citizens, right? And the only people that have guns are the police, and the criminals, because the criminals are criminals. They don't follow rules. They don't care about they're not supposed to own a gun. They get it. They're still gonna get them. You can make them. They're still going to get them, all right? So to take my ability and every other legal, law-abiding citizen's ability to own a gun, like, that's stupid. Like, why would you do that? It makes no sense, right? We have a Second Amendment for a reason, and that's basically have a defense against a tyrannical government at its essence. But that Second Amendment has provided us safety from the rest of the countries ever wanting to invade this country. Japan said it best. Like, they did not ever want to come here because they knew behind every blade of grass was an armed American. And they didn't want to mess with that smoke. Right? They know. And then we know for just dropping some big ass bombs too. So, that is what it is. But, back to the topic. This person was mentally ill. This person had gender dysmorphia, however you want to say it. Like, this person had some issues going on, And here's the thing I want to know is, why didn't this person's therapist, psychologist, why did they not report this? And we know that they didn't report it because if they would have reported it, it would have flagged this individual if they ever try to buy guns. And that's the thing, those guns were legally purchased. So, what the hell? You know what I mean? Like, out here in Cali, like, if I got in a domestic dispute, right? Regardless fucking how, if it was me or not, and the person said it was my fault, dude, I would lose my right to guns. Just off of hearsay. Not even though, like, evidence or anything. But you have people that are going into these psychiatrist's office who literally are so, like, messed up and confused about who they are that they don't even believe that they belong in their body. And they're talking about, like, dude, you don't go from zero to do this without talking to some therapist about, like, thoughts in your head. And if, like, this person was led to do this, like, they had to have talked to their psychologist about some stuff. But nothing was reported. Like, that needs to be investigated, in my opinion. And then the fact that the mom seen her walking out with a red bag, right, from the room where she kept her guns. And her mom even said that she wanted to stop her, but she was too scared. Like, those parents need to be brought up on some type of charges, dude. Dude, what? How, man? So the parents and a friend could have reported this and stopped this, and they didn't. Crazy, dude. That's how screwed up this whole situation is everybody wants to, like, dance around these topics and not talk about it or address serious issues because they're too scared of hurting somebody's feelings. Like, that's where our culture's gotten to the point of that, because they didn't hurt somebody's feelings, 6 people got killed. That's it. 3 little babies got killed and 3 adults got killed. That's it. Like, it's madness, guys. It's madness. I don't know. And there's nowhere else this is going to go, right? I mean, they have the manifesto, they have the maps, they know the plot, the shooter's dead, and that's going to be it, right? Because I doubt that those parents are going to get investigated or brought up on any type of charges or anything like that. They're not going to face any repercussions for not saying anything when they knew something was going to happen. The friend who got the text didn't say anything to law enforcement or emergency of any type, like, they didn't call on anything. They just let it happen, right? And they're going to claim they didn't know what it was. But dude, your friend literally has guns and says, I'm about to be done with life, and you're going to hear about it on the news. And you're not going to call law enforcement. That's crazy. That's absolutely bananas. Yeah, guys, I don't know. I mean, I've already gotten off in the weeds on this one, and I could keep going, like, we could really sit here and break some stuff down. But basically what it is, in my opinion, is a straight up mental health issue in this country. And that mental health issue also has driven us down a dirty route of drug addiction, fucking epidemic in this country. And that's just statistical facts, dude. Like, you can go look at how much of the drugs that are produced in this world globally, right? And then how much we consume in America is staggering. It's so staggering. We consume the highest percentage. Like, there's countries they could stack together and they don't consume as much drugs as us. And I'm not talking illegal drugs. I'm talking, like, pharmaceutical drugs. There's so many people that are screwed up in this country. Like, why? And I'll tell you right now, dude, when you look into it and you start really asking the questions and stop like being emotional about it and be really rational and methodical in your thought, like it comes down to our cultural decay. And what causes cultural decay? You know, some of y'all might not like this either. That cultural decay is pushed by certain agendas that have destroyed the nuclear family and certain agendas that have pushed people away from faith, right? And a lot of those agendas, you know where they come from. You know what side they come from. You know, and a lot of the social brainwashing that happens in higher education, it's crazy, man. And it's fact. Like, so many people know that it's fact. You know what I mean? But we're not having the important conversations. It's like something bad happens, ban the guns. Then we're gonna argue about it for a month, and nothing's gonna change. When reality is, we need to be having these nuanced conversations and breaking down all the certain things that are leading to these things to happen. Why aren't we talking about it? And the other thing we could do in the meantime, until we figure out, you know, how to fix our society and our culture and get back to a little bit more faith-based, whatever your faith may be, until then, we need to start fortifying our schools and having armed guards in those schools. In my humble opinion, you know, we have a lot of like veterans that come back that don't have jobs. Sign them up. Sign them up. We have enough people to do it. And with all the money we send overseas, we can fund that program to make our schools, our college, our campuses safer for our children. Especially the fact that, you know, in our society, like, we're forced to send our kids to school, or else, you know, parents can straight up get fined or locked up over it. So if you're going to force families to send children to school, you need to, you know, take steps to actually have some security for those children that you're forcing us, you know, to send to your campuses. You know, there's a lot of things we can do here. There's a lot of things we can do immediately to help with this problem. And then there's a lot of conversations that we can have, and that in long term will slow this. You know, I don't know if it'll ever stop, because there's always going to be a couple crazy people in the bunch. And then with the population growing the way it has, there's no getting around it. We're going to have some crazy people trying to do crazy things. But if we get back to a more, you know, moral culture, a moral society, then we're going to see less of this. I mean, you look at some other countries, they don't deal with this. And then you look at why they don't deal with it is because they're morally based cultures, right? Where some type of faith keeps them in line. And then also their governments are just way more strict on punishment, capital punishment. So it's like, man, you know, do we need to bring back public, you know, executions? I don't know, maybe we do. Maybe we do. But I don't know, guys. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'm sure I already pissed enough people off. But let me know what you think about this topic. I truly want to know. I do. I want to see where you guys are at on it. Because, you know, on this channel, you can agree with me. You can disagree with me. I'm going to have a conversation with you. I'm not going to block you. That's how I roll. But those are my feelings. And I'd really love to hear what you guys have to say about it. But other than that, guys, until the next video, it's your boy, the Piscean Predator, and I hope you all are having a beautiful, super amazing day. Much love, y'all. Peace.